What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Watch, and today we got another video. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about gear. We're gonna talk about equipment, crafting, if you will. We were going to be craftsmen today, and this video is going to be going over everything that we need to know about crafting and equipment so that you can proceed how you will. And keep in mind that the equipment slash crafting in this game, or gearing in general, is not that difficult. It is not one of the most complex things out there, but I wanted to make sure that I go over everything that's available in this game so that anyone newer who is coming in would have a better idea of how to streamline their grinding process. So like I said, if you're towards the 300k EP, the 250k plus, you probably already know like 90% of what I'm about to say. So this is more so for the people who are getting into it, getting like slowly, like trying to figure out, they're getting their level awakenings, they're about to craft their first few pieces of gear and not sure, oh, should I craft the 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, or how do I craft a 3-star? Where do I get the materials from? How do I actually do the content? Things like that, right? Especially if you're just getting into Conquest and just getting into crafting 3-star weapons and armor, this would be a good video for you. So let's get into it. This is my second take because I forgot to include one little detail, and I was like, no, I can't upload. So I'm going back in to kind of go over, better streamline my process, my thought process, get you the most accurate, up-to-date, efficient video as possible. So to start off, let's kind of go over how the gearing slots work. Equipment can be found in 3 different types. We have the weapon, the armor, and the accessory, and they all just give one stat. Your weapons give attack, your armors give defense, and the accessories give health, and that's it. They don't do anything else. Some of them do have an additional bonus, but for the most part they don't do anything there's no like hybrid stats or anything like that, and the effects don't start coming until you start crafting natural 3-star equipment, or if it's an event equipment. You might have gotten one early on, which is like, if Rimuru is holding this weapon, it does an extra 10% damage, something like that. Now, to kind of quickly start off, is that when it comes to the armor and the accessories, there's only one type. It's only just armor, and it's just accessory. There's a little bit more specification that you can get in there, but unlike that, weapons have significantly more variety. And the reason for that is because characters have expertise, and you want to build the weapon that is their expertise. And the reason for that is you get this extra 20% attack increase when you match their typing correctly. I did not know this earlier on, and I just started crafting random things. But I know better now. I'm crafting the correct gear. But that's kind of the basis of how the slots work. So let's now get into the different rarities of the gear and trying to determine why would you choose to craft one over the other. As you can see here, my gear can go up to 6-star, but not all of them. If you notice, my accessory can only go up to 5-star. And the reason for that is you can craft gear at different rarities, 1, 2, or 3. And whatever their base rarity is, they can go up 3 more times. Meaning a base 3-star can go up to a 6-star, but a base 1-star can only go to a 4-star. So that kind of begs the question is, why do you choose one over the other? Of course, the higher rarities are going to be better, but what if you can't afford to do that? So where do the questions of choosing come in? Let's go down to the forge, visit our men here, crafting away, refining their expertise, their craftsmanship. Yeah. Okay. But if you go over to Forge will tell you the different types of equipment you can craft and ones that you cannot craft because you don't have enough material. So to start off, it's very simple to kind of look at the accessory to better explain the process here. But you have 1, 2, and 3-star equipment, and when you get to 3-star, you start to get a little bit of a variety. But in terms of 1 and 2-star, they don't do anything special besides just being, slightly better than the other one. So the 2-star brooch is just slightly better than the silver bracelet in terms of base stats, right? Like, it can peak out at 576, where this one can peak out at 504. And then same thing down here. When you get to 3-star, you actually get a significantly bigger of a jump. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But to show you, my characters, for the most part, are still using vastly majority 2-star equipment that has been upgraded to 3-star. And the reason for that is 3-star natural equipment is significantly more difficult to craft because of the materials required. But upgrading a 2-star to a 3-star equipment is not that difficult at all. I must suspend my Facebook Messenger for a second. I apologize. The messenger has been suspended. Okay. So yeah, crafting 2-star equipment is actually much easier than crafting 3-star equipment. But why am I talking about 2-star and not 1-star? Crafting 1-star equipment is actually harder to do than 3-star equipment. And that sounds weird to say, but it's because of the materials that are present. If you take a look here, just me playing the game, not doing any sort of refined grinding, right? I'm not doing anything special. Like, I'm not going out of my way to grind anything extra for gear. This is just the natural progression of my account. I have 35 of this equipment. If I go to 2-star, I have 58 of this equipment. And I only have 5 of this. You actually end up having more of the 2-star equipment than you do the 1-star or the 3-star for whatever reason. That just ends up being the... Once you start getting into the content, this is the thing that starts dropping the most. And armor has its own type of equipment, and weapons have their own type of, I should say, material, right? If I go over to 2-star, I want to craft, they have their own material. Weapons 2-star have a different material. So that's the thing you want to keep in mind. So my recommendation is actually to craft 2-star whenever you get the opportunity. You don't have to go out of your way. Majority of your EP does not come from equipment. It actually comes from everything else. So like, I'm at 240k EP with most of my people having like super whack gear, and I can kind of go here and show you that, right? So excluding the Benimaru because he has his own equipment. For example, let's click on I'll show you my Diablo since I was showing him before. He has good equipment, but he's still using a 2-star upgraded a Dipplebop. You know, I can't say that. I cannot say the word. Accessory. There you go. But his weapon is a 4-star and his body piece is a 3-star. And I'll go over, like, he is wearing the shadow version of the equipment, right? Like, he's wearing the natural 3-star equipment that increases dark defense by 10%, and the weapon increases dark when it worn by a dark unit increases attack by 10%. And I'll go over that in a little bit. But for the most part, if I actually go over, for example, I'll click on the Shuna. Level 96 Shuna. All 2-star equipment. Like base 2-star. Soe. All 1-star equipment in the middle. But other than that, 2-star equipment. And I don't even have the correct matching type for his expertise. And this is like pretty common across my characters, right? Like if I click on the other Shuna, again, the same thing. 1-star equipment in the middle, 2-star equipment on the outside. Veldora. One star accessory, 2-star base other stuff. And my EP is still 240k. So I wanted to kind of make it clear that it is okay to have doo-doo equipment early on. Perfectly fine. It's going to give you a nice boost early on to get over certain barriers, but you don't need to go crazy because it's not that much of a boost. The real boost comes slowly over time, but your main EP comes from your ability awakening and your gear supplement set. So let's get back to the forging. Let's go back to our boys. So the point here, recommendation is to craft 2-star equipment. And the one thing I didn't mention is that if any of these are ever locked, and when I mean locked, I don't mean material insufficient, meaning you cannot craft them because it'll say your forge is not high enough. That has to do with your population. You need to make sure you get your population up as high as possible, and your forge will slowly be available to upgrade over time. My forge is level 6, so I can craft up to 6-star equipment. But other than that, yeah, like that's kind of the crafting portion of this. So let's start talking about 3-star equipment. 3-star equipment is when Conquest comes into question. And if you don't know about Conquest, Conquest is the event mission over here that is tied to these materials that you get. And I'll show you down here when you do beginner. And beginner is so easy to do in comparison to the other stuff, but beginner doesn't give you much. It gives you highest quality magic hide, fang, and feather, which is needed to craft 3-star material. And the nice thing is you can actually use the feather to craft 3-star accessories without having to worry about anything else. But the other stuff, the armor and the weapons, require a magic core of whatever element, right? Like if you want to make a dark one, it requires a dark magic core. If you want to make a light one, it requires a light one, and so on. And you have to defeat the corresponding what are we doing here? Conquest mission. You need to beat the corresponding conquest mission to get that color's magic core, which ends up becoming a little bit tedious, but I have tips on how you can circumvent this. Well, I guess not this part. You have to do this part. How you can circumvent the hammers. And the hammers are needed to go from 3-star to 4-star, from 4-star to 5-star, and 5-star to 6-star. You're going to need increasing levels of hammer. This is the bronze blacksmith hammer. Then there's a silver one, and there's a golden one. After expert, you get a master mission, and that'll drop the silver hammers, as well as giving you a golden hammer for completing it, I'm pretty sure. So other than that, let me go back into the forge, the fiery forge. So going down here, if I wanted to craft an accessory, increase stun evasion by 10%, but you'll see here that it doesn't actually ask me for a magic core. I can just craft it. But there's two here. One is poison evasion, one is stun evasion. At the moment, stun is definitely more prevalent in the game, so I would use stun all the time. There will be opportunities where you can worry about poison, but it really doesn't matter, right? Just go for the stun evasion. It's just a better thing at the moment. Other than that, if you wanted to craft, for example, a armor piece, it would require the high level material plus the magic core. And like if I wanted to craft the other ones, I need their magic core, right? But you can see here that I have this. And the weapons don't differ, like fist from tome from whatever. You can just craft all of them. They all have the same exact requirement. They're just for the expertise portion. But crafting the natural 3-star requires magic core, but you get that extra boost for when you put it on the matching type. You get the extra 10% bonus. So this is the thing that you're going to slowly start transitioning into, but it requires you to beat Conquest. Now, beating normal Conquest is pretty doable, right? Once you get into that 200k EP range, you'll be using the Alice strat, and I've made a video on Alice herself. If you guys don't know how to beat Conquest, make sure you check out that video. I believe it's like from 2 videos ago. And then a one before that where I talk about specifically how to beat Orc Disaster on normal. And that strategy applies going forward as well. But there's no difference between crafting like a book or a tome from a hammer or whatever. It's just making sure you get the proper ones for your units. Now, here's the thing: when you want to go from 3-star up, it is going to require more thingies, more majingy bobber stuff. But going from 2-star to 3-star is actually pretty straightforward. It doesn't require that many extra materials, and you can do it just fine. So that's why almost all of my gear is 3-star, but 2-star base. So if I wanted to take this thing and I wanted to evolve it, it requires these hammers. And the hammers I showed before, they only come from expert and master. Right? You cannot get them from a lower difficulty. But there is another way to get them. So I'll get to that in a second. For now, let's go over the other stuff. Let's show leveling. Yeah. Leveling, pretty straightforward. One thing I want to talk about is when you hit the max button, make sure you don't do this. You're wasting so much EXP. You want to always be using the small grindstones to minimize the amount of overflow. So you're not just wasting, like you're wasting so much if you do pure giant grindstone. You can do a combination, right? Like you can do, if I reset this, if I do this and you're like, oh, but I'll go and do large grindstone, and then you can do whatever, some combination. As long as you're using a small grindstone to cap it out, that's fine. But do not waste these materials. Even if you feel like you have a lot, there's no reason to waste them ever. And there you go, that's the evolve. Redo, what it does is if you take a look here and you want to craft, I won't go to the other screen. But when you craft, there's a range for the value that you can get, and whatever value you roll, as long as it's not the highest value, you can redo it by kind of sacking some material and then hitting the redo button. Now, you'll get some success points, and at any point you can just roll a higher. You can never go down. You can always go up, but you can't go down. So you can keep redoing until you get the maximum amount, and this is kind of a pity system that's like, yeah, if you miss like 10 times in a row, the next one is guaranteed to be a success. But you can get the successes beforehand. I probably won't get it here, but I'm just kind of showing you. Yeah, whatever. So that's how redo works. But this isn't... let's actually go over the hammers. So, like I mentioned with the hammers, is that you can get them outside of Conquest to get 4-star equipment. I actually have not beaten any expert missions yet because I didn't care about them on Conquest. I was waiting until I got my EP up, but I already have a 4-star Diablo weapon. So the only way I can do that is by having hammers, and you can get hammers outside of Conquest by going to the shop, going to Friendship Bazaar, and just buying them with friendship points. You can see here that I have 7 left. I bought 3 and I upgraded Diablo's weapon, and now once I get 100, I'm going to buy the silver ones and upgrade it even further, and to get it up to 5-star. And that's all I'm doing. This is such an easy way to get a sum. There's a limited amount, right? It's not like you can do this forever. You can only get 5 of here and 10 of those, but you can at least do this to get some of your equipment up to 5-star without even having to worry about Conquest, as long as you can do normal, of course, right? You still need to craft the base 3-star. So that's kind of what I wanted to show, is that people don't really know about this, and this is all based on your friendship points. So make sure that you have your 40 friends, then make sure you have your Rimuru's hut built, which gives you more additional friends, right? If you go under friends, I have more than 40. I have 49 because I have a level 9 Rimuru's hut, and I can keep going up once I get more population. So the more you do this, the more friendship points you can get every single day, which means the faster you can clear out the shop. And you can definitely do it in a month. It's just a matter of doing it quicker so that you can do it a little bit, you can get stuff, you can progress faster. So that's for the most part, that's really it. There's not much else to crafting and gear. I'm pretty sure I went over everything. Let's just double check if there's anything else. Scrolling. No, I don't think so. So hopefully that helps clear things out on how to kind of get into the equipment using the 2 stars, upgrading that to 3 stars earlier, because it's a lot easier. And then eventually, once you can slowly start crafting your 3-star ones as you beat Conquest, once you start getting those magic cores, doing that earlier on, use your friendship points to buy the hammers to get higher level stuff. You can get your EP up even higher. That'll help beat Conquest on harder difficulties like Expert and Master. And then you can use those once you beat those to kind of fill in the rest of your gear. But that's it for now. So hopefully this video was helpful. I made it even though it's pretty simple, just for those who need it, right? You never know who gets stuck or not. Yeah. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.